Uwa. I've just finished my first year of university and I've learned a lot in the past year, 10 months. So here I am sharing my pearls of wisdom with you. Or is it here I am giving you some pearls of wisdom? Here I am giving you some advice on things I wish I knew before my first year of uni.
I'm calling, maybe I'm selfish.
So it's not everything I wish I knew, but just a few things that just need to be said. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Uwa. I'm a medical student. Be sure to subscribe, leave this video a like, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an upload. I'm also going to be doing a mini series giving you guys advice for university based on my own experience so far. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Let's get on with the video. So the first thing is something I did know, and it doesn't come as a surprise to anyone, but I'm still going to throw it out there and I'm still going to say it. And it's that people are dirty and lazy. Like, people aren't living with their mums anymore, they're not at home, no one's gonna nag them to clean up after themselves, tell them to tidy up, so they just aren't gonna do it and they just can't bother, so leave the mess there, they purposely make a mess, and to me that's just really disgusting and really unappealing. Luckily, I didn't have it too bad. It wasn't like the horror stories you like see on TikTok or like on Twitter and stuff, but it would bother me a little bit because it's just not like how I'm used to living. So yeah, if the kitchen was a mess, I'd never eat in there, I'd be in my room instead. But anyway, swiftly moving on. You're gonna make friends inevitably. So I understand that it is natural to feel a bit anxious or a bit worried that you aren't gonna make friends, or you're gonna be like, I don't know, a fish in a big pond. You're gonna be on your own for a little bit, especially if you don't know anyone from your hometown or you don't know anyone from the group chats or anything. You're all in the same boat. Everyone's so excited about starting uni. Everyone wants to make friends. I advise during your freshers week, if you do get a freshers, I didn't quite get one because of COVID, but during your freshers week, whoever you meet, just literally get their Instagram. No one is saying invite them around for a sleepover. Just get their Instagram, get the Snapchat, and you never know, in the near future, you might just drop them a message and they might even message you like, we're in Prees, do you want to come round? Just get the socials of as many people as you can during Freshers Week, because you are going to meet a lot of people. And even if nothing comes out of it, like in 2 weeks time, never speak to them again, it's not that deep. You're going to make friends inevitably. You're going to find your friendship group one way or another. And that leads me on to my next point. In university, you don't need a huge friendship group. You just need your friends, people you get on with, people you click with, just your own little tight group. You don't need to be moving around with about 50 of you at a time. It's cringy, no one does it. Popularity at uni is not important. Not everyone needs to like you, not everyone's going to like you, and you aren't going to know everyone as well. And also, you might not make your friendship group straight away within the first few weeks. I'd say it was only really after Christmas that I found my group. Before then, I was just floating around with friends. It didn't bother me, I didn't deep it. It is nice to have a friendship group or to find a group that you gel with, because you'll want to keep this in mind for your housemates and who you're going to move in with for second year. But I'll come back to housemates and housing later on. Next bit of advice is to get on with your flatmates, but you don't need to be best mates. Just don't force a friendship. You're going to be living with people you've never met before. You're going to be placed in a random flat with different people, and not everyone is going to be your cup of tea, and that's completely okay. As long as you can tolerate them, be civil with them, that's great, that's what you need. It's good to get on with your flatmate so you've got that nice civil and friendly environment, so that you're happy in your flat and your other flatmates are happy in the flat. You don't want a situation where there's loads of tension. And also, it's just nice to do stuff as a flat every so often. Have prees beforehand, have takeaways together. You do see, like on TikTok, some flatmates are really close. I didn't quite have that in mind. We were chilled, we all got on, we'd say hi, we'd see each other in the kitchen. But it wasn't the case. We do something together all the time, which is completely fine. You'll all have your own friendship groups, either from your course or just from outside your flat, and you'll just vibe. So don't try and force friendship with your flatmates, but also just try and avoid any awkward confrontation or tension, because you are potentially going to be living there for 10 months to a year. So play nice. And then again, this also links on to my next point, which is be respectful of the people you're living with. Just for example, what I mean is, if you like to party, you like hosting, just make sure it's okay with all your flatmates while you do anything. And if one of them isn't okay with that, try and meet in the middle. Maybe agree with them, can I host on a Friday and a Thursday rather than hosting every single night. Yes, you're at uni, and yes, it's so social, it's so fun, no parents, no rules, but there are people who do want to get their head down in the flat and do want to study at night or whatever. So just be respectful of the other people that you're living with. And that also goes for like just general house rules. Like, if you see that people in the kitchen like being clean, you try and be clean as well. Just stuff like that. This is my inner mum coming out. But yeah, just be respectful of your flatmates. It just makes living with other people so much easier and so much more pleasant. Another bit of advice is talk to your neighbours. So the flats next door to you during Freshers Week or something, knock on and say we're having prees, you want to come round. Could end up making some really good friends. Another thing that I wish I knew before starting university is that you don't constantly have to be busy. Even if you've got lots of lectures, which my course does, and you've got like seminars, dissections, or whatever extra bits your course is offering, you don't need to constantly be busy. Allow some time for yourself. Allow some time to unwind and to relax. This applies to a social life as well as uni life and studying. You don't need to do something every single night or every single second of the day. You can have a night off. We didn't get a Freshers Week, but from like watching YouTube videos and talking to the people, I know freshers can be very full on. If during Freshers Week you need a night to yourself, take it. You also don't need to constantly surround yourself with other people. Yes, uni is very social, but time to yourself is very beneficial. After constantly spending time with different people, you will value some alone time. Another bit of advice that I'm going to give to you for uni is to learn how to budget. You need to be able to track your spendings. I didn't budget or track my spendings, but you really should, especially if you're someone who's going to want to go out all the time. Yes, there are student deals on, but it still gets very expensive. If you don't live near town or you don't live near the student nightlife, you're going to be spending money on Ubers and public transport. So learn how to track, and when you go out buying drinks, whatever, make sure you have got enough money for essentials like food and toiletries every so often, and you're not just spending it on nights out. Your overdraft is there for a reason, but I would advise that you avoid going into it. Luckily, I never touched my overdraft, but like I said, I didn't have a set budget or a set way to track it. I was just good at managing my money. But yeah, that is a very big thing and something that students don't make the most of. But I really do recommend you track your spendings and you learn how to budget throughout uni. Another thing I wish I knew before university, if you're a med student, listen up and also watch my video on the mistakes I made in my first year of med school. But you really don't need to know everything the lecturer said. Like, you just don't. There's so much information and so much to learn in uni that they don't expect you to remember everything they've said. Imagine if you're remembering everything now in your first year and you've still got all these years ahead of you. Multiply that by 4 or by 3 or by 5. That is a lot of information that you're going to have to remember. Just know you don't have to know everything. It's hard to give quite general advice on this, but from your lecturers and throughout your course, you will become more and more familiar with what you actually need to know and what to focus on. But just know that it's not everything. Next tip is to make the most of your lecturers. These are your examiners. Your lecturers write your exam questions. Any of them that are written, they mark it. They are literally your best revision tool. So ask them on things you're not sure of. Don't be shy to speak up and ask a question during a lecture. Don't be shy to email them. That's what they're there for. They're going to give you this extra help and extra support that you need. So make the most of them. I definitely was not a stranger to that. Anything I struggled with, I was emailing my lecturers as soon as I could and as often as I could. But I benefited massively from that. Next thing is something that I didn't this year and I couldn't that much because of COVID, but I would definitely advise it, and it's to make the most of uni life. Get involved as much as you can. As I've said a million times throughout this video, uni is an extremely social experience. So get involved in societies and clubs, any sporting events. If your uni has a gym, we've got the David Ross at Nottingham. I would say join that gym so you can meet more people from your uni. Also, another thing about joining societies is that they host socials, which are just nights out for members of that society, and that is another great opportunity to meet more people and make more friends. Another quite geeky point that I can't really give like specific advice to, it's gonna have to be just general, is just know your course, know how it's structured, and find out based on that how you best learn. For medics, watch my video that I talked about earlier on the mistakes I made in my first year of med school. For everyone else, you will learn this throughout your course, but if you've got people in ODs you can talk to, I'd say definitely speak to them and get some advice from them. It's also useful to see things from their perspective as well because they've just recently experienced it. So I said that I was going to talk about housemates and all that later on in the video. Here it is, and this advice is to start looking for a house early, but make sure you don't rush into signing contracts. So the reason I'd advise you look for a house early is so that you can get a decent house in a decent area at a decent price and live with who you want to live with. I started looking like start of October, but I didn't really have like a set group then. We found the house and agreed to it like mid-November and signed the contract at the start of December, and that was a pretty good time. We got a good house at a really decent price. But the reason I'd say don't rush into anything is the fact that it's very likely you'd have known these people who you're going to sign a contract with for 3 months. You've got the rest of first year to experience with them, and then you're going to live with them for another year. Make sure these people who you know that you actually want to live with. I sort of took a gamble, and 2 of the girls who I agreed to live with I'd actually never met, again because of COVID, but I did know them. Like we talk on Snapchat and group chats, whatever, but now we've all met and they are lovely girls, so I got lucky in that sense. But just make sure the people you're living with are people who you get along with. It can be a bit of a sticky one, but just make sure you aren't rushing into anything and you are happy with your whole living situation for next year. The best thing about living in a house is that you're living with people you want to, these people who you've chosen to live with, so don't ruin that for yourself. Does that make sense? So at uni, a lot of the student nights, even throughout the year, so after Freshers Week, are things you need to book and buy tickets for. And the website that people do get this from usually is Fatsoma. I'd say be extremely careful on Fatsoma because the organisers kind of list an event, but the location might not actually know that the event is going on. In the very first week, in our freshers, we had a Beyonce night at Icon, which we bought off Fatsoma. It was a genuine night, it was legit, but the Icon staff didn't really know what was going on. All they knew was that it was a student night. The day after, we had an ABBA night booked. My friend paid for the tickets for about 6 of us, 30 quid for tickets. We turned up at Olivia's townhouse for this ABBA night, and then they told us that we got scammed. Someone just like put on a fake event. So yeah, be extremely careful with Fatsoma. Make sure you're buying tickets from a well-known organiser. For Nottingham, the ones I can think of are like Get Wavy, Skin Sessions. My mind's gone a bit blank right now, but just stuff like that. You'll get familiar with it in your area, whatever uni you go to, but like I'm saying, just make sure you're careful on Fatsoma. Also for freshers, don't buy wristbands because a lot of them are fake and you might end up not even going to the events you buy a wristband for, so you've ended up wasting like 50-55 quid, and it's just not worth it. A lot of places will have like 500 extra tickets on the door, so if it comes to it, pay on the door. Or there's things like Uni Salad, which always has people selling tickets for whatever event. And then the final bit of advice is, I think something that Lydia said, and like when she said it, I just thought this is so true, and that's not to compare your uni experiences. Everyone has such a different uni experience that you shouldn't think because you're not doing something that somebody else is doing, yours is wrong or yours isn't as fun. You will see it all over social media, people posting the best parts of uni, they're out every single night. Maybe they've not got as many lectures as you or whatever, maybe they've got a bit extra money to spend or they don't mind going to their overdraft. You don't know their situation, so don't compare their uni life and what you see them getting up to your own experience. Everyone is going to have their own unique, sounds so cringy, unique and different experience. Just make the most of your own and do what you can and genuinely do what makes you happy. This also means that you don't need to follow the crowd. Like, if people are drinking at uni, you don't need to get involved. So just don't feel the need given to peer pressure. This again is me sound like a mum, but it's just genuine things that need to be said. If you're not comfortable doing something, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to spend a night in your room if you don't want to do what everyone else is doing in the kitchen. If you want to spend a night in baking or cooking or watching a film with your friends instead of going out, you do that. Me and my friends would do that often, just have chill nights, watch a movie, get some dessert, just chill or bake, and honestly it was always so much fun. Okay, so that's the end of the video, and those are things that I wish I knew before I started university. To anyone who is starting university or has started, good luck, you're going to love it. Uni is so much fun, and remember, just do whatever makes you happy, and you do uni how you want to do it. Just enjoy the experience and make the most of it. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget, I'm going to be doing a mini uni series and giving you advice on uni, just based on my experience so far. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And of course, turn on your post notifications. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Yeah, maybe I'm selfish. All my ladies and I can. Maybe I'm selfish. I want you to myself, I can't help it. Yeah, no one but me. Yeah, baby. chicks down in Texas, all the way to New Orleans where the girls could catfish. And in LA, every chick's an actress.